And it's now all about getting under 60 minutes for the full distance and that massive prize money, very much in the minds of these athletes. Still 6 on this long straight section of the route. They won't be complaining about that. They've got the camera vehicle in front of them. They're approaching the 15-kilometer mark now. This a very important mark as well. We're looking here for something like 42 minutes, and it's well outside that. 42:33, 42 minutes 33. So while they have been moving well, it's just not as quick as was hoped for. Here are those last 5 kilometers from the 5K arch, that long run into the left turn and the final kilometer and the start and finish line. That's absolutely dead flat. There is a little bit of uphill in that last 5K, a tiny bit of climbing, and what is otherwise a pancake flat course. But I get the impression that they have slowed a little bit now. Their first 5 kilometers, remember, was 14:04. The second 5 kilometer segment took 14:07. And the third 5 kilometer segment, 14 minutes 22. So they've gradually got slower through each of the segments so far. Here's the ladies coming through 15 kilometers. They are moving well, though. They set off pretty cautiously as well. But 31:54 at 10K for them was very quick. And the ladies gone through 15 kilometers in 48:03. It's very fast. And they certainly do have a shot at the course record. Well, you can see number 4 there in this men's field, just glancing around him, centre of picture there in that orange vest. And that Getu Faleke. The body language suggests here too, when you look at how closely packed they are, the body language suggests that they are watching each other a little bit more here than they would normally do if they were really getting their heads down and surging, pushing on for a course record. That's the 16-kilometer arch. So 10 miles coming up, and that a very important point as well. There were hopes before today that they might break the world record for 10 miles. That was a tall shot. There are the mats. Those mats they've just crossed are the 10-mile mark. And they've gone through 10 miles in 45 minutes, 45 seconds. That's still a fantastically fast time, but a long way outside Haile Gebreselassie's world record of 44 minutes 24. Nonetheless, about 3 miles to go for these men. And number 4, Faleke, making his presence felt. It's all about testing the men around you, finding out if they are hanging on or if they're comfortable. And if each little surge you put in can just get rid of perhaps one person in the pack, then you get your reward and you can push on again. Faleke to the right of picture, pushing on well. Number 5 to the left there, remember. Masai in the middle of picture. 14, Jeffrey Mutai, the man who we know is in very good form. He's had a couple of big marathon wins in Eindhoven in 2008 and 2009. He took that big race in Holland, and of course in Valencia just 3 months ago, that big marathon win down in the south of Spain. But they are closely packed. To the left, Murga, who is, for him, running a fairly cagey race today, the Ethiopian. He's normally likes to front run, normally likes to push on very, very hard from mid-race onwards. But, well, he wears number 1, and he looks to be labouring just a little bit to the left of picture there, Murga. Sun beating down on these men, and we're coming to the meaty end of the race now. They know that this is where they really need to start digging deep into their reserves. The hundreds, the thousands of miles of hard training up in the Rift Valley of Ethiopia and Kenya as well. This is where they get their reward. It looks like big money, doesn't it? $20,000 for an hour's work for the winner, but it represents months of hard training. And for many of these men, this will be their first big hit of the year. The majority of them haven't raced once since the autumn, since well before, since November, perhaps December. 1 or 2 of them had cross-country races in the Northern Hemisphere winter. But a race of this caliber, where you're going to meet a field of this quality, is something you really do have to focus on from quite a long way out. So who's it going to be? Place your bets. It's finally poised with about 2.5 miles to go. You can almost sense the tension in the group, can't you? On the far side, Murga beginning to surge. Is he going to start turning the screw from here? Number 4 nearest the camera. That's Faleke, remember, in the orange strip nearest us. And 14, still moving well, is Jeffrey Mutai. Very, very hard to tell from this picture just who is going to crack first, who is going to take the initiative and try and break the rest of them with a prolonged surge for home. Mutai looks good to the right of picture. Quite a relaxed looking athlete, powerfully built in the legs. If anybody's labouring, it's probably the man towards the back of the group there in the orange. I think that might be Dambiri. There's not a lot of shade on this course. Of course, the window of opportunity to run in anything but high temperatures is relatively small, of course, in this part of the world. And on this particular day as well, it's been around 27, 28 degrees around by the middle of the day over the last few days in Ras Al Khaimah, and this race starting at 7:20 a.m. means that now at about, well, what is it, just after 8 o'clock, the temperature is already climbing. Well, they're moving so well, but they don't get to run at this level without being well fueled, and of course the pre-race pasta party is absolutely vital, whether it's a marathon or indeed a half marathon. So let's have a quick look at last night's function. Well, at the Cove Road Tana, the tables were laid, the food was out, and the dignitaries arrived to enjoy what was a very, very nice meal. Elite athletes, visiting runners from the UAE and further afield, and the race staff as well, all mingling in a very relaxed manner. It's a double function in effect, a chance to fuel up and relax and then get an early night because of the very early start.
I'm here to learn tomorrow. I have prepared enough for the competition of tomorrow. So I believe that I will improve my time tomorrow. Yes.
They must take care, because if, for example, they take a bottle which was opened before, so we never know if somebody can put any substance here. So they must take care of everything what they are eating and drinking. So they must choose always the bottles which are closed, or soft drinks in the canets, so all must be closed. So it's very necessary that they check it. Also for the medications and the supplements, because sometimes we don't know what is inside of the supplements. We just have a box, but we don't know what is exactly inside. So before to take, they must be really sure what they're taking.
This race the course is good. I come here for, 2 times, so I was run 59. So tomorrow I can do something because I know the course.
The volunteers come to us out of good faith, and we use them quite a lot. So we need to have them, their support on our day.
His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saud Al Kazimi was at the function, and the athletes themselves, well, looking a little bit uncomfortable. The nerves perhaps sometimes getting to them with their big race just a few hours away. That was last night. This is now, and the athletes really motoring on the streets of Ras Al Khaimah. Still this group of 6 who's been locked together for several miles now, and none of them looking vulnerable, none of them looking like they're really suffering from this pace, but it is noticeably picking up. They're gradually winding it up, aren't they? And yet, I've been expecting Murga to move to the front and start doing some damage, and if anything, he's beginning to suffer. There he is, the orange vest to the right of picture. He looks like he's maybe just beginning to drop away. And it is breaking up now, without any doubt, with very, very little distance to go, the majority of the race distance behind them. These men are absolutely flying. And there's no sign of Murga, and he's dropped out. Murga, the pre-race favourite, has dropped out at around 18 kilometres. With about 2 miles to go, the Ethiopian has just stepped off the course without any warning whatsoever. Didn't look to be injured. And we're down to 5, and even one of those is dropping away now. Number 14 there is Jeffrey Mutai in the yellow. Number 4 nearer the camera, Getu Faleke. Both of them have been very much to the fore over the last 15 minutes or so. Number 5 there, tucked in, Titus Masai, looking strong. We know he's got enormous track speed. He might be just tucking in and hoping it'll become a tactical sprint in the last few hundred meters. But generally speaking, with the Africans, that's not the case. You have to have enormous strength, you have to have great speed, but strength, the dominant quality at the end of most big races these days. We are down to 4. And he's a big man, isn't he, Faleke, nearest the camera? He's the tallest, quite heavy in the legs. Sort of leans back a little bit. He's got quite a strange poise, hasn't he? Over on the far side, looking strong as well. That's number 11, I think. That's William Wangi in the orange towards the back of the group. But who's running the canniest race? I would say Titus Masai there in yellow. Just tucked in the middle of that group, almost in the slipstream of the other two. They can virtually see the finish now. They're in the last mile and a half.
Internationally, from a world best point of view, it's gone from better to better. And from the runner's point of view, this is one of the races they want to be in. This is the fastest half marathon in the world.
And my word, are they moving quickly. There was some, not lazy running, but pretty conservative running through the first half of this race. By the standards set in RAK over the last 3 years, and considering the quality of the field, their time at 10 kilometers, remember, that was 28:11. Was relatively pedestrian. Then they motored quite well through to 10 miles. Remember, 45 minutes 45 at 10 miles. They're approaching the 20-kilometer point, and that time a critical one as well when we look at the stats after the race. But today is not a day for record breaking, not in the men's competition anyway. We know that already. It's all about who's going to win the race. It's all about pride amongst these men. They will have raced each other before. They'll know each other's strengths and weaknesses. The really studious ones will have looked at their competitors' form in recent races and know what their strengths and weaknesses are and perhaps play upon those. But number 8 is Tadesse Tola, to the left of picture there. And he does look as though he's labouring, doesn't he, Tola? The shoulders rocking from side to side. And there's a little surge from Jeffrey Mutai. He moves across the road, cuts the angle. The others follow. A little glance over the shoulder there from number 4, Getu Faleke. Now, is that an indication? Does that body language suggest that he's worried about what's going on behind? Because it's Jeffrey Mutai who looks to be in the box seat, pushing the tempo here and beginning to ask questions of the others. Mutai running the shortest line around this gradual right-hand curve. They approach the 20-kilometer marker. And the target time for 20 kilometers, had they been on anything like world record schedule, would have been around 55.5 minutes. They go through there in 56:52, so they're well over a minute outside the required schedule, but it's still mighty fast, and the group is breaking up, no doubt about it. Mutai has done the damage, and he's got the bit between his teeth, and when you're really tired and you put in a hard surge and you drive on like this, and then you realize there's a gap behind you, it gives you enormous encouragement. The adrenaline begins to flow a little bit more, and he has this field beaten. The last turn on the course then, 20 kilometers behind him. He's into the final half mile or so. There's the aerial shot of that last turn into the finishing straight. And with the sun rising in the sky above Ras Al Khaimah, we at last have the likely winner in shot. And it's Jeffrey Mutai, the 28-year-old. He's a relatively late developer. His personal best, set last November in Spain, was a bit of a surprise. 59 minutes 30 there, although he ran at 27:52, 10,000 meters at altitude in Nairobi. Now, you may not know a great deal about 10,000 meter times as you're listening, but if you would probably know that running at altitude is much, much harder because of the thinner air, and to break 28 minutes for 10,000 at altitude really is a clear indication of your potential. That's a potential unfolding here today, because Mutai's got the gap. These three locked together. Number 8, that's Tadesse Tola. Number 5, Titus Masai. And also in there as well. And kicking home, it's number 8. It's Tola. Pushing hard. He's not going to win the race, there's no doubt about that. But Tola going for glory, at least second place, and making it onto the rostrum. That's what he cares about. There's the race leader, though. It's Jeffrey Mutai, who's got a good gap now on the rest of them. And he's not going to be caught. The head rocking from side to side. He's really pumping hard, isn't he? Is Tadesse Tola. The 22-year-old is making his debut here today in a half marathon. He's got enormous strength from his marathons in the last couple of years. But he's got pretty good speed there, enough to turn the tides on the two behind him. But there's one man in front of him who will not be beaten today. And it's Jeffrey Mutai, sprinting like mad for the finish line. The crowd around the finish loving this one. He's going to take it, no doubt about it. It's going to be very quick. He will break the 1 hour mark. That is critical. For the 4th year running, Jeffrey Mutai, the winner here in Ras Al Khaimah, ensures that there's a sub 60-minute winning time as he becomes the champion in Ras Al Khaimah in 2010. Unofficially there, his time at 59 minutes and 43 seconds. They crush across the line there. In second place, Tola. In third place, Titus Masai. Very, very quick running. The first 4 there through the line in under 1 hour. Ras Al Khaimah, yet again, one of the fastest races in the world, and it's only February.
No, I was not winning. I was not even, it was not in my mind, but I was praying. But I know when anything is possible when you pray.
Well, confirmation of the men's result there. A win for Jeffrey Mutai of Kenya, the 28-year-old running 59 minutes 43 seconds. Tadesse Tola of Ethiopia second, also under the hour. And Titus Masai in third, breaking the hour mark as well. And now here we are in the latter stages. In a very similar fashion really to the men's race, they've run solidly for the first 3/4 of the distance, then gradually wound it up in the last 5 or 6 kilometres. But the leader here is Mare Dibaba, just 18 years old, a tiny figure, but she's very, very quick, very, very strong for a teenager. 68 minutes 45 she ran in Delhi in November, and here they are approaching the 20-kilometre markers. They've got about 3/4 of a mile to go. There goes Dibaba, formerly of Azerbaijan, and then Ethiopian. In fact, she was Ethiopian, then she reverted to Azerbaijani citizenship, and then recently back to Ethiopian. Goodness knows what was going on there. But the youngster here is being chased down by Elvan Abelagese. And Elvan Abelagese herself, the figure to the left there, just about to catch Dibaba, is from Turkey, but she is a former Ethiopian as well. Complicated situation, is it, with all this shuttling around from one country to another? But this is a marvellous race unfolding. They negotiate that final left-hand turn. Dibaba kicks hard as Abelagese pulls up alongside her. A very aggressive response there from the youngster. Set that personal best in November. We know she's in great shape, and she's determined not to be beaten here today. Abelagese, in turn, is a former Ethiopian who took 2 silver medals in the Beijing Olympic Games, over 5,000 and 10,000 metres on the track, notably, for Turkey. And this is her first ever half marathon. It's her debut at the half marathon. It's, in fact, the first time she's ever raced over 10 kilometres. She's already got more than 20 kilometres behind her, and with about half a mile to go, she's trying to chase down a very experienced, although much younger, former Ethiopian colleague there in Mare Dibaba. They can see the finish line now. It's about 600 metres ahead of them. Abelagese, making her debut, as I said, spends half a year back in Addis Ababa, her original hometown, then half the year in Istanbul, the Turkish capital. She changed coaches just 10 weeks ago to a Croatian, Nikola Boric, and it looks to have gone well, doesn't it? Because she pulls up alongside Dibaba, who kicks again there. Another remarkably aggressive move from the Ethiopian, nearest the camera now. Abelagese changes sides, goes over to the far side and kicks again past her. And this time it looks like there's no response. Dibaba might have shot her bolt. And Abelagese, a little glance over her shoulder there, and she knows she's got the victory in the bag if she can just hold this form. She is the track runner. She's run under 4 minutes for 1,500 metres, which is the magical mark for women in the metric mile, a bit like the 4-minute mile mark for men. But Abelagese here kicks for home, and she's got a 20-metre gap, and surely she won't be beaten now. She's a fascinating athlete who, after her Olympic silver medals in Beijing 18 or 20 months ago. Missed out on the World Championships last year in Berlin. She ran there but had to drop out in the 10,000 metres final with an Achilles injury. But she said, chatting to her yesterday, she's fit as a fiddle now, has upped her training a bit in recent weeks, was really looking forward to this one, and you can see why. What potential she's got on the roads as she defeats a very strong field. In third place there, the tall figure of Selefech Mergia of Ethiopia in yellow is going to have another strong run. But the winner, without any doubt, is going to be the debutante. Elvana Beylegese is the RAK champion in 2010. And look at the time, 67.07 as she crosses the line unofficially. It's a new course record. Dibaba crosses the line there, the Ethiopian. That will be a new Ethiopian record for her, just a few seconds behind. And here comes Mergia through the tape. That's a new personal best for her as well. What a quick 1, 2, 3 there. All Ethiopian-born athletes.
I am happy. This is first time half marathon. This is good result for me. I'm happy.
And the women's result, Elvana Beylegese, the Olympic silver medalist, on top of the heap today in a new course record, 67.07. She beat a very strong field. Mare Dibaba setting an Ethiopian record with 67.13. And Selefech Mergia, a new personal best as well, with 67.22 in third.
I'm delighted. I mean, I think three men's times inside 60 minutes again. So every year of the race so far, we've had really top-class, world-class times. We've had a women's race record, 67.0 something. I'm not sure the exact time by Elvana Beylegese on her half-marathon debut. So we're really pleased. 5 women inside 68 minutes is really world-class running, and I think it's another great race in Ras Al Khaimah.
And so to the presentations for the elite athletes. The first 3, of course, will be presented with their prizes and recognised appropriately in front of the massed throngs. His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Sak Al Kazimi assisting with the presentations as the third-placed man steps up. That's Titus Masai of Kenya. His time is 59 minutes 51 seconds. Very quick running for Titus Masai. And indeed for the Kenyan, that is a new personal best. He'd never broken the 1 hour mark before. In second place, Tadesse Tola for Ethiopia. The cousins, the Rift Valley cousins in effect, from East Africa. Trade wins and losses, race after race. And today an Ethiopian made it onto the rostrum. Tola's time, 59 minutes 49 seconds. And that, for him, remember, was a debut performance. What an entry into the half-marathon rankings. But the champion for RAK in 2010 was a man who was very quick at the finish. 59 minutes 43 seconds is what it took Jeffrey Mutai of Kenya to get around the route. The 28-year-old delighted with that win, one of the biggest of his career, if not the biggest. And the Kenyans maintain that stranglehold, the 4th consecutive win in the 4 editions of the RAK half-marathon. On the women's side, well, the Ethiopians totally dominated. Ethiopian-born athletes, at least. Selefech Mergia setting a new personal best there in third place, 67 minutes 22 seconds. Last year she was second, but she's quicker this year in third, underlining the quality of the event. And the second placer in 2010, in 67 minutes 13, was the tiny figure of Mare Dibaba. Defiant in defeat. Doesn't look too happy with it, does she? Didn't she battle down the home straight there? A new national record for Dibaba there for Ethiopia. And of course it was a national record for the Turk, our champion this time around, in 67 minutes and 7 seconds. Elvana Beylegese has now earned her colours as a road racer. It was a course record as well. She's the 6th fastest athlete in history with that performance. She's a name to watch in future. She says she's not going to make her marathon debut until after the 2012 Olympics. But Elvana Beylegese, a force to be reckoned with on the track and now on the roads.